Welcome, everyone. We made it. Apologies for yesterday. The gremlins were out in force and we just couldn't figure it out. But wow, today we're on Zoom, we're Facebook Live. So cross your fingers that we'll get through this, and I'm sure we will. Before we start, I do want to acknowledge with respect that we are within the Lekwungen people's traditional territory, the Songhees and Esquimalt First Nation, and we are so appreciative to be able to live, work, learn, and play on their traditional territories. And this is an extremely sad day with respect to First Nations reconciliation in the discovery of 215 children's remains at a former residential school. So please take a moment and contemplate how that must feel and what we need to do in terms of continue that effort forward for reconciliation. There is so much happening. I just want to start with where I went first thing this morning because it was so amazing. We, as a community, have had the opportunity through photography to be introduced to the owls of our community, and particularly the birds and our barred owls down at Sax Point. So today I participated in the hanging of the barred owl house that was donated by Steve Gordon, a resident, for our barred owls. And you may remember that a few months ago, our pair of owls, one of them was found dead. It is suspected to be rodenticides that killed this barred owl. So Steve really has poured his heart out, and we're working on having those owl houses up. We did it there. We have a couple of houses going up at Gorge Park for completely different owls. I learned so much about owls today. It's not funny. And we also put some up at Rockcrest Park, I believe, and again, a different type of owl. So I really invite you to go to Facebook and look at beautiful Esquimalt. You will find the photos of the owls. Go to the Township Parks and Recreation Facebook page. Because you're going to see photos there, and I took a few, but I'm using an iPhone, so it's nowhere near the same. But throughout the whole thing, the owl sat there and watched us as we hung their new house. So fingers crossed that we're going to get baby owls and be able to help further that whole ecosystem. That was my early morning today. So coming away from nature for a little bit, this week was really exciting because we had a change in the provincial health orders. And it's something that I think we all have been looking for. And it is a 4-step plan to get us out of our COVID safely. Everything is predicated on being vaccinated. So if I can start with anything, please, if you have yet to get your vaccination, if you have younger children, if you know of somebody that is wavering, if we can all go out and get our vaccination, we can do this and be opened up in September, much like we were before COVID. and everybody needs to do their part. And there will be some that can't get vaccinated, and for medical reasons. We understand that, but those that can need to. I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to traveling to visit my mother, who is 95 years old in Ontario. I know everybody's just got this pent up demand to see family and to socialize. And so let me just tell you some of the reasons why you want to get out and get vaccinated. So stage one is we have to get 60%, and we're there. So the next is to open up further. In a couple of weeks, we're looking for 65% of the population to get their first shot. So, and to get to the third stage, I believe it's 70%. So that's why it's important, because we can't move on unless we get there. But if we do that, things that are happening at Town Hall is effective Monday, after how many months? Well, over a year, Town Hall is going to open up, so Monday to Friday from 9:30 to 1:30. So I know you're thinking that was just in time for taxes. We didn't have anything to do with that. But it's great. It's absolutely great. So you'll be able to come in and speak to the reception area. And our ladies at the reception area are just amazing. They've been here throughout this whole process, and they are welcoming. They've got dog biscuits if you're bringing your dog to pay your taxes or whatever you're coming in for. So after that, we're hopeful as of into June, the next stage, we will open up fully Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. So there we are, stepping up. One of the areas that has been closed throughout this whole pandemic, archives. And we have volunteers that have worked from home. We have our archivist who has been diligently working behind the scenes, but we haven't had the ability to have access to archives other than that. And so we're working on getting the ability to access archives when we get to phase 3. So that's 70%, I believe. The public safety building will also open up such that you can access fire department, police station as well. And parks and recreation, if you've been going at all, you know that there has been incremental increase. Well, this allows us to start looking at summer, start with our summer camps, greater intensity workouts, fitness classes. So it's really opening up our opportunities there. So stay tuned for that, because Parks and Rec, the other wonderful thing is to welcome back so many of our auxiliary people that help with the classes and give you that great fitness experience that you look for. We also, you probably may have noticed if you're in our downtown area, opened up our water park last week, and we've even had some great days for the kids down there. Of course, this is all with the COVID playground rules, which are make sure you wash and sanitize your hands before coming and playing. And don't come if you feel sick, please. Make sure it's a social distance. And the other thing is, if we're going to get great weather, which we are this weekend, everybody's going to want to come, but we need to continue to maintain safe distances wherever possible. So please consider you want to come, you can be there for a bit of time, and then please let somebody else come in. We have Bullen Field that's wide open for picnicking and opportunities to spread out. And if we can do that give and take so everybody can get the opportunity to get into the splash park. I know the kids just love it. I mean, I've been watching on even the cold days, and there are kids going into that water. So let's talk about summer events. I have a list of questions that I've received, and I will get there. I just want to try and provide you with some of the opportunities that are now starting to open up because of this change in the COVID protocol for restarting and opening up. We have, through the Township Community Arts Council, a significant number of events this summer, as well as other groups. So let me just start listing some. Yesterday, we did the opening of Artist in Residence. That is one of the condos at the town square in the Arbutus building, which is 1216 Carlisle. It's unit 107, and you can actually access it through from Fraser Street, come in beside the public health building. There are going to be 3 artists in residence. Right now it's Arden Rose, and I'll tell you, I was there yesterday. Her artwork is amazing. I'm a color person, although I'm not wearing a lot of color today, but she is also a color person, and her artwork just is spectacular. So please take the time to go on down there. Of course, you need your mask, and we only can allow 4 people in at a time. But it gives you an opportunity to, one, check out the condos at our new town square, but also to have a conversation with Arden about her artwork. You can purchase the artwork as well, and it's my hope that some of you will consider that. And she'll be there for a week, and then we'll have another artist, and then we'll have a 3rd artist after that. So she's scheduled from May 27th to June 1st. And you take advantage of that. She is there. I can't remember the hours. Maybe I can get that information for you. I believe it's something like 11:30 to 4:30, and also on Saturday. So we'll get that information. Oh, I gave the wrong number. Thanks, Carol, and I will find out the exact number for you as well. Although Carol is very welcoming to a lot of people as they walk by on the street, and they are lovely people. Splash of Paint is happening as of June 16th. And Splash of Paint is where what Township Community Arts Council has done is invited artists to sign up to find a place in Esquimalt, paint that place in Esquimalt, and then they'll collect all that artwork. And again, it will be for sale as well. So stay tuned for that. And on the 16th, if you see an artist sitting around at Sachs Park or on the West Bay Walkway, feel free to chat them up again. We need always the public health orders. We have Sculpture Splash, and many of you will remember Sculpture Splash in years gone by down at Macaulay Point. But this year, it will be different, and it will be different sculpture. It's actually going to be sand sculpture. And that is taking place at Bullen Field. And it's going to happen toward the end of June. The date isn't quite put down yet because they're looking at weather. We're confirming with the sculptors, and it will be, I'm not going to spoil the surprise of what the sculpture will be. They are hoping to also do classes with kids about sand sculpting. And the sculpture is going to remain up for a period of time so that everyone can come by. And what's better, water park, and then right across the road, sand, just like being at the beach. Did we get the unit number yet? If we can get the unit number on the building, that would be great. I don't know why I can't think of it, but anyways, I want to confirm that. So the time for the artist in residence is 11:30 to 5:30. weekdays and 12 to 5 on weekends. BART Across the Bridge, we're hopeful is coming back. They're thinking it'll be scaled down in Memorial Park in July, again, based on the rules, the public health rules as to how many people, what does that look like. So stay tuned to that for that. And Township Community Arts Council have both Facebook pages as well as websites. So you know, pin those so that you have those readily accessible, because each week things will get clearer in terms of days, etc. They have already booked the musicians for music in the park in hopes of things happening. And what Township Community Arts Council has done is they've backed them up. So we used to have them in July, at the beginning of July and end of June. So now they're going to start July 26th and run through to August 23rd. And that is, again, beginning of July may have some, the ones beginning in July may have some challenges, but they're going to develop the plan, the COVID plan, to allow events to occur. So it may be that not all of us get to go and go to the park on every night, but I think it's so important and exciting that we're going to have some event. And then Ariosa, as you all remember, is the aerial dancers at the trees in Sachs Park. That's planned for mid-September. And so we should be at stage 4 at that point, which stage 4 is basically back to pre-COVID. So pay attention there. We're hopeful. And if you haven't seen that, it's an incredible display. And I just want to remind you that through the winter, we did have the Township Community Classics. What they did is they pre-recorded sessions so that COVID safe, nobody attended. They did it at the Ward Room, which has incredible ambiance and acoustics. And so you can watch those videos if you go to their website, which is www.townshiparts.org. And we'll make sure that that's out there. Buccaneer Days is coming. They had to move it from May to June, and they've had to change it. So it's different, but it's happening. So for all of you with that desire to dress up for Buccaneer Days, please feel free, June 12th. But what they're doing this year is they are to keep the spirit up, alive and well. I was one number off. I've got to go back, make sure that you all know the artist in residence is in unit 106. And we've shared the link on Facebook so that you've got it there. So 106, and it comes in, as I said, off of Fraser Street. Back to Buccaneer Days. This year, it's a contest. It's about decorating your home or decorating your business. And there's going to be lots of prizes. There are categories: the Community Spirit Award, the Best Decorated Home Award, the Best Decorated Business Award, Best Decorated Yard. And we even have the Graving Dock has committed to doing something with crane. So look up as you drive along Admirals Road, and there may even be Best Crane Award. So challenge to Department of National Defense on that. And I know that there's been some behind the scenes work on that. So if you are wanting to participate in that, it's the same as the light up in, not parade, that we do in the winter at Christmas, where we develop a map where people can drive around and see all the great Christmas lights. Kim Viss is the person that you need to contact. And so you send your name and address to kimviss.campbell@gmail.com. She'd like to receive your applications by June 1st, which is coming up next Tuesday, so that we can then develop the map so that people can drive or walk or cycle. I'm going to encourage active transportation around the community to see the decorations that have occurred. And people do this anyway. And now we're giving out prizes for it. So please, everybody, think about it. I know that where I'm living, we're looking at how do we do it. And I'll certainly be dressing up a little bit. You know, we got to keep the spirit going. Wakey Wakey is going to happen, but not at 7 a.m. for those of you that will be disappointed in that. But it will happen at 10 a.m. and they'll go around, the fire department will go around the community as usual. And I know the fire department is looking forward to that, as well as the kids just love that. And there is this year also a scavenger hunt for children. And I don't have any details on that, but stay tuned. And also, I mean, we are so social media savvy. Everybody's got a Facebook page. Buccaneer Days does. So keep a watch on that, and they'll be posting more about that. Our Esquimalt Farmers Market is already happening every Thursday from 4:30 to 7:30. And of course, with COVID opening up, we're looking at how do we accommodate the farmers market. They're at Bullenfield right now, and I know that the market and our staff are working hard to work out so that we can continue to have the large number of vendors that we do have with the COVID safety protocols. But what's important is that should they have to move, because those are normally sport fields, that we all follow them, because we know how important shopping local is. And we know the value of that farmer's market. So stay tuned if there's any changes. Otherwise, they'll continue at Bullenfield for as long as we are able to make that happen. I want to tell you about a program that our fire department came up with. COVID has affected everybody in terms of some of their important work is about education in the community, and they've launched a hands-on CPR training opportunity for individuals, families, and households. So you can get a firefighter, you get provided a kit, and it's a 1-hour session, and you can learn more or upgrade your CPR from the comfort of your home. So registration on that, and we'll post that as well, is at esquimalt.ca/CPR. And right now, the focus is for Esquimalt residents, but it's my understanding that they will consider those from outside Esquimalt as well. So some business, because you've probably all just received your tax notices. This year, the budget process was done through from February until May, and we did end up with a 1.6% tax increase, which is consistent with the annual consumer price index. If I can blow our horn a little bit, staff did an amazing job in keeping our ability to raise our need to raise taxes as low as possible without compromising service. And so kudos to our staff. We are, I believe, the lowest within the core area municipalities anyway. I just want to remind you that 39% of what you are paying in taxes on that notice go to other agencies that we collect for on their behalf. CRD, school district, the BC Transit, to name a few. So in looking at your tax bill, you know, do take and pay attention to the amount. Every year we get the comment, well, your taxes are much higher than anywhere else. In fact, that's not true. We are mid to low in the pack. The challenge that we have is that we provide all of our own services where other municipalities don't. And we put everything under one umbrella. And so other municipalities will break out and have utilities that they will charge at different times of the year, or they may have, in fact, don't even provide the service and you pay some private hauler for your garbage or something else. So when you take it all into perspective, you're getting a darn good deal here in Esquimalt, and it's a great community anyways too. Along with the budget increase, I just do want to let you know that we have budgeted $28.5 million in capital projects. So we have the completion of the library that will occur. It's my understanding right now, we're looking at August, and that's going to be spectacular. We have the Gorge Park Pavilion that is rising out of the ground, and very exciting work that is going on there. That is due to be finished early 2022. So the other is that we have $6.7 million left in the amenity of the remaining from 7.1 million amenity funds allocated to the public safety building. We've just gone through an AAP process, alternative approval process, to get support for borrowing money toward the public safety building. And that approval process, there wasn't reached the threshold that, how do I say this? We did receive approval by the fact that the threshold wasn't met against the process. And I do want to acknowledge, I'm going to get you just to put that up again for me. I do want to acknowledge that there were many people that felt that they didn't get enough information, that they didn't feel that they had been brought along in the process. And we, through COVID or not, we use social media, we use news, we do postings, we have our own newsletter, but we always acknowledge that there is perhaps never enough information that goes out. And I certainly welcome any input you have that can help us to provide public input, public feedback, public input, public information, so that you're feeling that you have it at your fingertips. I also want to address a question that I received, and that was around somebody is asking about the public safety building versus the process that we're going through to deal with our solid waste. And we are right now in the process of going out for request for proposal on the integrated resource management and gasification process to deal with our solid waste, kitchen scraps, and yard and garden waste. Two separate projects may have very different funding. They are not, one is not tied to the other, nor is it tied to the fact that we have gone forward to borrow the money on the process. Someone asks, what is my relationship with this company? We don't have a company. Gasification is being done by many companies. Certainly no personal connections with anybody. Staff are out with a request for a proposal for someone to come forward and do the business case. And that's what we're looking for at this time. So stay tuned for that. And as I said, completely separate. One of the other things that was a little bit misunderstood through the process for the public safety building was our ability to access and use the Department of National Defense Fire Hall. That is a no-go. Department of National Defense has that service for all of their facilities, all of their lands. And they are federal and we are municipal. And I equate it to being as much as they are within our community, they have their own rules, their own regulations. And it is like having Switzerland in your community. And so if we were Italy, we don't go to Switzerland and borrow their fire department or integrate with their fire department. We do, however, have a great mutual aid agreement with DND, and so that they are there to help us. That is a pretty special relationship when you consider that jurisdictional challenge of federal government, municipal government, and the challenges of dialogue between them. So just to clear that up, that was never in our ability. So let's talk about the public safety building and what's going to come up next. We still have process to go through. That land has to be go through a process of changing the official community plan. It has to also go through a rezoning process. And within those processes, there is public input at every step of the council meetings, but also there are public hearings. And we look forward to your feedback on the design, on the official community plan amendment, on the zoning of that property. And so again, it is important that we be able to connect with you to keep you apprised so that you can be part of that process. Somebody asked me whether we have the opportunity or whether within that facility there is a training area. And I reached out to both our Director of Public Safety this morning and as well as our Fire Chief. And absolutely, the answer is yes, there is training space. That's great, because even in this building, we do have a small training space for the fire department. And I believe police have used it in the past. I'm not sure of the relationship at this time. But it's really important to be able to make sure that they can do what they can do and stay fit and ready for whatever comes at them, all within the one building. Council takes a break every year, and so just to let you know that our summer recess this year is July 19th to August 13th. And I need to come back to the tax information, because you may have received your form. This year is different if you apply for the homeowner grant. So please read the material. You must apply for the homeowner grant at the province. We can't deal with that anymore. They are looking for other information that we can't collect. So when you come in, you'll need to have done that before you come in to pay, and make sure that you've received the information from the province that says, yes, you are accepted to claim that grant. This is our ladies at the front desk have already had, I understand there's a contest amongst some wonderful residents who every year try and get in first. And so I asked at the front desk, have you been busy? And they have already. They've already had over 20 people come in and pay their taxes. And some of them are not aware of that change already. So our staff are doing a great job, but they sense the frustration that will happen, has happened, because people didn't realize there's a change. So please, FYI, go to the province. It's gov.bc.ca/homeowner grant. And you need to claim that ahead of paying your taxes. And our tax deadline this year is back at July 2nd. So mark that in your calendar as well. Both things have to have occurred. All right, we've got some questions. And one of them, I think I've already asked. Oh, no, I didn't answer it. Okay, surprise. Can the public look forward to attending council meetings, perhaps by the fall? It's sooner than that. We are anticipating public can come to council meetings in July. So that's based on the public health orders, but we are preparing that will be the time when members of the public can come back into council chambers. And let me tell you, council members are as anxious for you to come back as we're anxious for us to come back. Anybody that has continued to be diligent and watching the council meetings has seen it shrink from full council to partial council to just the chair, which is often me, which I can't imagine is very interesting. As well with having everyone on the phone, I imagine it can be a bit of a challenge to follow along. So as much as we have worked hard to refine the processes and do the best that we can, we will all be happy to return. Council is returning to partial council on the June 14th meeting. And then we anticipate that June 21st, because we have plexiglass between everyone at the table, that we will all be able to return, of course, following the orders of masking and hand sanitizing and those sorts of things to come into the building, etc. So look forward to that, and we look forward to welcoming you back. Please come. Marilyn asked the question about the Indigenous artwork at the pump station, and I don't know how many of you have gone down to the McLoughlin pump station. It's sort of the beginning of the walkway that takes you through McLoughlin Park, but there are now 3 amazing pieces of artwork that are there, and there will be signage around the artwork, the artists. This has been under the purview of CRD, and they have not quite got everything finished there. There's still more work to be done with regard to the landscaping as well. But artists are from Esquimalt Nation and Songhees Nation, as well as a second carver. And yeah, to have the story of that artwork, I want to give out a huge shout to one of the most amazing ladies I know, Florence Dick, who is from Songhees Nation, but has huge ties to Esquimalt Nation as well, who was hired by CRD to work and help with Indigenous relations as well as activities, and was a significant person on the file of providing this artwork. Esquimalt, we stepped up and helped by providing the footings for the artwork, and so we all collaborated together. But you've got to go and see it to believe it. It really is spectacular, and what a welcoming that house pool is, and the chief's bench and the other metal work, incredible. So stay tuned for more interpretive signing around that. I can't give you an answer. The next question is around shovels in the ground timeline for getting the public safety building construction started. I can't give you that because of all those steps that still have to come. But we have a couple of shifts that have to occur in that whole process, along with all of the process work that we have to do, which is official community plan amendment, zoning, rezoning process, development permit process, building permit process, shovels in the ground. So along with that, though, we have to set up the new homes or the temporary homes for the fire department and the police department while we are constructing. We have to demolish that building in order to do this. We originally had hoped we didn't have to do that, but it's a no-go. We have to take that down. And so the new homes, we are looking at after the library moves out, the space in on the first floor of the town hall will be the police station, temporary station. And so they've been already doing the planning work around that. And our fire department will be moved to the Archie Browning parking lot, and we will set up some ATCO trailers and do what we can and get them settled in there so that they will have temporary housing while we go through the building process. So we don't want to do anything until we're all ready to go, so that the shorter life in these temporary facilities is better. And that certainly lights a fire under us to get that building once we're at that step to demolish and to build and get people back into it as soon as possible. We had a question from a developer, which is interesting, and it's Esquimalt is experiencing rapid growth and many new real estate projects are being proposed and built. What are some unique things that new developers to the township can do to make long-term positive impact on Esquimalt? Do you have all day? This is really important. And so if any developers are listening out there, every time I meet with a developer, I really try and drive home the message that you need to understand this community. You need to be a part of this community. You need to contribute to the community. And that is important to us. And what does that mean? That means taking the time to get to know people and to understand the neighbors, not only the neighbors, but what the community is about. Find out about our official community plan. Make sure you understand our strategic plan. We have a number of documents that will really help you to realize what a very special and unique community this is. And we want to save that uniqueness. And the uniqueness is that this community has so much heart. I deliver welcome packages. And so for anyone who wants, who's just moved here, plug for that, you can contact Jody Graham, jody.graham@esquimalt.ca. She's my executive assistant, and she will arrange, and I will come out and deliver a welcome package to you. And I'll go back to that in a second. But when I deliver those welcome packages, one of my questions is, why Esquimalt? What made you move here? 99.9% of them answer with, it's that sense of community. And that is something that is very special. They say they don't see it in other parts of the region. Certainly not to the extent as we have it here in Esquimalt. So that is people, that's our events, that's our history, that's who we are. And it's important for developers to understand that. We also are a community that value our amenities. Our amenities come in all forms. So, you know, council has a number of ways that we encourage developers to make our community better, contributing to our active transportation strategy through the provision of bus passes, through cycling storage, through provision of everything down to kayak launch have come forward. So, you know, things that allow our community to go out and enjoy the community are part of that. But also things that will minimize negative impacts of growth. Like, as I said, if you provide bus passes and moto, that's encouraging people that don't need a car, don't want a car, to have all of the abilities of getting around easily. It's encouraging people to try transit where they may not have tried it before because they got a free pass for a year. And it doesn't take long to realize how well serviced we are by transit, and that you can go anywhere in the region easily on transit from Esquimalt. So those are some of the things. And I would say, as I said, listen to the community. There are regulations in place as to things that we can ask for, we can, and there are things that we can't ask for. One of the things that's important to us is nature and the ensuring trees are maintained or retained as much as possible. We have recently had a struggle around a heritage house, and we value that heritage. So if you're coming forward and you are looking at heritage, please do everything you can to incorporate that heritage into your project. Don't put us in a position where we have to choose one way or another, because our heritage tells who we are, who we were, and some of the exciting history of our community. So there's a number of things. Finally, all of our events are run by volunteers, and there are a number of community groups, our social services also, that are run by volunteers, but also every one of them require assistance in terms of volunteers and funding. These things don't happen for free. And if you really wanted to make an impact, try and encourage volunteerism for our events. We would love you to sponsor our events and our social services. Rainbow Kitchen needs sponsors all the time. Esquimalt Neighborhood House needs donations all the time. And so any of the public event, community events that we have, and that way you show that you're part of the community by actually getting in there and volunteering and or being part of ensuring that those events continue to happen. I'm happy to speak to any developer further. I'm happy to speak to any community member further about value added, what we can ask for, what we can't ask for, what we can do. We don't have development cost charges in Esquimalt where other communities do, and it's just it doesn't add value because we're built out, and so we have to go about it in a slightly different way. It's a little complex, but I'm happy to chat with anybody about that anytime. Other questions that we've had, let me see. Anyone chiming in on the chat? Progress in terms of Esquimalt and Head Street. It is my understanding that the developer continues to move forward. They have a sales center. They were unable to find space in Esquimalt, and that is a common challenge, unable to find commercial space, which is why council is asking for commercial space in all the buildings along Esquimalt Road and even just slightly off, because we need more. With more community comes more ability to welcome businesses. More businesses, well, it brings more tax dollars, more services. It's one big happy family. So in terms of Esquimalt and Head, sales center going up for pre-sales. They have been further talking to staff, and so that suggests that the process is moving forward. Tying in with that, a significant amenity that came about because of that development was their amenity provision of space, as well as funding toward a medical facility within their building. And as many people in Esquimalt know, we are in desperate need of doctors and medical, paramedical people. So that was extremely important to council in looking at that development. So the good news is that I understand that they've been having talks and that they are quite excited about how they're going to bring that forward. Parallel to that process, we also had having discussions with Island Health and were granted by the province to have an urgent and primary care center in our community. And I can say that that has moved forward significantly to the point where you in June will have a temporary site for the urgent and primary care center. Ultimately, they will have walk-in. We will have extended hours through the days. Ultimately, 7 days a week is my understanding. Of course, that's not going to happen at the beginning, but they are prepared to provide urgent which is not, you won't be able to walk in June, but you will be able to book an appointment and see a physician. And also the ability, as they move forward and expand, to become patient attached. In other words, you will have a family doctor. And I know you are all waiting for that process. We're waiting for the province to make the announcements around this, which is why I can't give you all that great data that I'd love to give you. So if anyone from the province listening from the Ministry of Health, please make the announcements so that people know what's happening in Esquimalt. We are desperate to have that information. Then so that's the temporary facility, and the permanent facility will open in December. And that's exciting as well. And so if you put 2 and 2 together on that, you realize that that is not going to be an urgent and primary care center at the Head Street building. But what it means is we will have more doctors and more medical facilities. So all in all, it's a huge win for the Township of Esquimalt as these things come forward. Somebody's asking if there is Indigenous artwork planned for the courtyard at Esquimalt Town Square. I'm just going to ask Tara if she can find out for me whether we have an exact date on the grand opening of the town square. And because it's my understanding they're pretty close to having that date. And that will include opening up the art walk. And I do understand that there is Indigenous artwork in the courtyard of the Esquimalt Town Square. And they are working every day but Sunday to complete the library and office building. The rental building, it is my understanding that it is either completely full or just about full. So if you have any desire to move in there as a rental, do check that out. But I know it went like a hot cake. And the condominium buildings are filling up with wonderful residents from within Esquimalt that have moved from somewhere else and are either downsizing or just shifting a little bit, but also people from outside Esquimalt. And it's just wonderful to meet new people from that are joining our community there. So that will, stay tuned for that, because I know that Aragon Properties is wanting to really make that a special day in the grand opening, and we'll try and get that date for you. I did give the timeline for relocating the library, somebody is also asking about progress in terms of next steps for Esquimalt and Lamson project. Of course, that's still in a process, you just need to follow council agendas for that at this time. So Esquimalt Town Square grand opening scheduled right now for July 3rd. And remember, that's after another milestone for our restart plan in BC. So really feeling excited about those things. I was talking, I need to find a clock here so I know where 2 o'clock. Oh, I'm running overtime. I just want to let you know about a couple of events that I may not have exact dates for you, but I want you to look up. We're doing another branch out event, clearing invasive species at Sax Point Park in June, somewhere in the middle of June. I just talked to our staff about it this morning. We would love to have as many people come out as possible, of course, COVID safe. This is your park. You learn so much by joining these groups. And I know that what actually we've been doing is training volunteers to then help take on small groups to show them. So the more we facilitate that out, the better. I also would be remiss if I didn't mention there are other developments that are going on in the community. West Bay Key, so, I mean, it's risen out of the ground, and my understanding from them that 3 of the spaces, for the commercial spaces, have already been taken. There are others. They're looking for a coffee shop. I don't know whether they found it at this point, but their sales have also been rapid. They're hoping for the end of the year to be having people move in. And of course, there's another building to be started and moved forward in that project as well. For those that are looking and feeling we are about to go publess, as one may go off, and I know the loss of the Gorge Point Pub is significant. I do understand that they have been looking to step away from that for a period of time. So it is unfortunate, but we do have, of course, the Tudor property looking at how is their next part of their project going to move forward. I don't know any timelines on that, but that is certainly still, as I've heard, in their sights. And of course, Town Square has an area there, and I've got some understanding that is looking favorably, so that something will open up in the near future. And down at West Bay Key, they're going to be adding something. And of course, we have the English Inn, and that project has started. And I know that there's discomfort and whatever happens with the trucks going down the roads and blasting occurring. And so a little bit of pain, a lot of pain, let's face it, going on from the neighborhood. But having that development be completed, it will be a long time in coming. And of course, the inn, the revitalization of the historic inn and what will come within that is something to look forward to. So we also have the developments and the growth of our food community, our wonderful little restaurants that are there, and we're going to be a happening place in terms of a local beer and cider stops. So stay tuned for all of that. And I'm already talking overtime, and you can tell I think I could go on for another hour, but I really want to thank you for persevering from yesterday to today. I want to thank you for listening. I would love to hear your feedback on how we can do this, and whether it should be more frequent. I'll listen if you say less frequent, but that would be disappointing to me. But I really appreciate you tuning in, and my door is always open, whether it's virtual or not. I love to meet you at a local coffee shop so that we shop local, or how it works for you. And as we open up more, I'm going to be out there and look forward to saying hello to all of you on the streets. So thank you for joining, and we'll see you again. I'd like to do this again before council break, just in case there's some new and exciting news with all the changes. Thanks a lot. Take care.